Hi, I'm Amy from Following Hawks, and I am here today with Dani Bahnsen, who participated in the Earth Tenders Academy, and to chat a little bit about her experience. So thank you so much for joining me today, and why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and your spiritual journey.
Hi, Amy. Thank you. I am really happy to be here and talk to you because the Earth Tenders Academy has just taken me to a different level. So I am Native American on my dad's side. I'm a member of the Assiniboine tribe in northeastern Montana. Since my parents left there and I grew up, in Wyoming and Utah, and now I'm in California. As I was growing up, I was spending my summers on the reservation with my grandparents and working on the ranch. I was a cowgirl during the week, and then we went and played Indians on the weekend going to powwows. And back then it was still not, it was still a time when the indigenous people were not able to hold ceremony or talk about the history. And it was very, as I was growing up, we were just not allowed to talk about it. And so I really had kind of no voice about the indigenous religion or their ceremonies or anything like that. So that was just kind of tucked down inside. Then I went off and, started working and being an adult, and I became a personal trainer. After a while, I was an athlete and went into training, and eventually it evolved into Ayurveda because I kept having clients coming to me that had these, strange things that I had to learn how to deal with and work with. And I was called to Ayurveda medicine, which brings a lot of spirituality. And works with the elements, and everybody's different with their constitutions, and so I felt guided, and I started more yoga. I started holding wellness retreats where it was so cool how the universe kind of sent all the right people together at the right time, and it just created this. Every retreat was different. It was wonderful, to see these people kind of change, over the course of a weekend. And I was just a channel. I was, just facilitating. And so then, I started more into crystals and healing. And I did become I did the training for pranic energy healing. And so now I'm, working with energy and feeling energy, but still, kind of quiet about, kind of keeping to myself a lot of spirituality.
Yeah.
I don't know how I came across your blog, but I was just instantly drawn in. And then you had written about grids, the earth grids and the portals, and I went, oh, I need to, this is it. I never heard of it before. It just was all of a sudden, I need to do this. And so then I was every blog you had, an email, I was oh, I can't wait to see what Amy, and now my morning starts looking at your Instagram. and I, back then I said, I got to figure out how to get to Montana so I can be an apprentice for Amy or something so I can learn this stuff. And then sure enough, you came out with the Earth Tenders Academy, and I was just man, I was so excited. And so that's how I got there.
I'm glad you found your way to it and found your way there. I know you've been reading my blog and been, like you say, but since before the Earth Tenders Academy. So thank you. I'm glad you've been here. And when you saw that the Earth Tenders Academy was a thing, and what was it you were hoping to learn through taking the Earth Tenders Academy?
I wanted to learn how to connect in with the earth, and I wanted to find those grids and those portals. That was one of them, and then just kind of returning back to the earth and coming back to combining my healing with the earth. I mean, exactly, this important work that needs to be done, that a lot of us hadn't known about, so I just think that the work is so important, and I wanted to be able to contribute to that.
Yeah, it is really true. I mean, until somebody just tells you or shows you how it works,
Yeah.
Nobody tells us. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then what would it, what were you feeling like it would mean to you? You said you wanted to contribute or participate in this work. So, how were you hoping that would come forward?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's why I needed the class. I didn't know what it was that I was, should be doing. I knew that the word grids and portals just like, it just like struck me.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know about it. How do I, work with that? And then it was even more bonus to be able to speak with the spirits, and then channeling. That was like, I always wanted to be able to do that, and didn't think that I thought you had to just be gifted and have that knowledge, but to be able to learn and bring that forward, that has been really cool. and being together with the group, and when we go into a meditation together, we visit, land, a specific place together. And then when we talk about it afterwards, and we all, are seeing and feeling the same thing, maybe the interpretation is a little bit different, like that time when I saw purple cabbages, but somebody else saw purple stones or something.
Yeah, what was it? I'm like, it was really similar. It was really
like, oh yeah, those are kind of alike, but I saw it like this and you saw, but it was validation for what we did and what we saw, in our meditation, and what we experienced. It really made me feel like, oh, it's legit.
That's the hardest part for us, is to feel like we're really getting it. So having those opportunities to compare notes with others, like in the same meditation, I think is one of the most validating things.
Yeah. And another thing before I forget, you're so yourself. You have your own personality, and you're bringing these things out how you're seeing them, but you're also saying, but how you see it is that's right too. It's not, because I've been in other classes and things, and you have to do things just the way the teacher said. You have to say it in the same words, and you have to, and that always felt like confining. But this is like, it's just right. It's like so accepting of how we all have our different gifts and how we use them, and it's so fun to see how everybody else is working, and I love the group that you've created, because I really am interested in what they're saying and what they're doing, and I like to see that, and where there's other groups, it's not the same. This is really, it's, I think, one of a kind. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. And I feel the same way, as far as some people really enjoy the very traditional, kind of rules and whatnot. For me personally, I like to explore and I kind of enjoy, discovering new things and figuring things out by myself. So that's how I have also created this, is like, there's some ground rules, but otherwise, it's kind of a door for you to open and walk through and then see what happens for yourself. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you enjoy that as well. So how would you say your practice has changed as a result of some of the things you have learned or experienced through the Earth Tenders Academy?
It's just like, whoo, blown wide open. I think that a lot of the resources that you put in the course were just opened my eyes. I loved all the books. And I mean, I was totally blown away by the Pleiadians. I had never heard of that before. And now I know I have Pleiadian guides with me. I've had readings where they're like, oh yeah, they're right there. So
here they are.
Yeah, so I'm totally seeing things in a different way. I'm much more relaxed. I'm not feeling uptight or held back or anything like that. And by being more relaxed about it and being able to be myself, it opens more things up. It's like going from this to, a bigger scope, and being able to use a lot of different techniques and other things that, I've kind of dabbled in before, but now I'm getting it more kind of overall in general.
Yeah, the big picture. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. And it is, I feel the same way. Even like new information and new things come in, I'm like, oh, that's how that connects to this other thing that I've been doing. So it's really cool when you can start putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that, I mean, what new skills would you say have opened within you as a result of some of these things?
Definitely channeling. And the property readings, that's like something that I really knew I wanted to do and I should be doing, but I didn't know it yet. And so your property reading worksheet, that's super helpful. Also, well, I'm going to go back and just say, having learned about the land I'm living at now, I didn't even think of that until, in the course when we started doing that. That was really cool. And I was like, yeah, right, we should be learning about right where we're, because I was thinking about, where my relatives came from and stuff like that. But no, it's important to do that where we live now. Maybe that's why people have moved around, because they're supposed to be working, somewhere else. Also, when we did the guardians meditation and meeting our guardians, and that is another thing that just gave me a really good feeling that I got these guys out here guarding.
Me too. I tell them all the time, you got to hold down the fort. It's awfully windy out there.
I think that was like, wow, I really wanted to, I wanted to do that and learn that. And yeah.
Have you found that you've had the ability to reconnect to your Native American ancestors more, or to that piece through some of this work? Has some of that come to you more so?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And it goes back to, me not being like just closed up and scared to, say anything. I definitely have had, signs or, synchronicities, and I kind of, I'm able to kind of talk to them now, where I couldn't before. Some of them were kind of shy, but sometimes just, being able to somehow connect. Yeah.
Yeah, connect with the energy. Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, we'll see. You kind of touched on this at the beginning, so you may not have had this response, but can you finish the sentence? I almost didn't join the Earth Tenders Academy because?
So, of course I knew heart and soul wanted to be part of it. But one of the reasons that always comes up for me if there's a course or something, is time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Because I work full time, I'm working on my degree full time, and so time is, and I wanted to be able to give. I wanted to be able to fully be in this because it's where, I got work and I got school, but this is where I really want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So making sure that I had the time, and then, money, these things always cost so much money. But then when I saw how much it was like, that's and I can't tell you how the value is like far more than,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I went back and rewatched all the videos, almost a year later, I was like, man, like my whole brain is in here. Like, there's so much.
Yeah,
It's really,
and I can't wait to see all the new stuff too.
I know. But you found it was that you were able to find the time. I mean, even with working and working on your degree full time, that it wasn't so much of a time commitment that you couldn't get through the material.
Yeah, and it was just, it was just right. It was just enough. It wasn't overwhelming. I mean, there were so many resources that I couldn't read the books and everything right away, but I definitely put them in my Amazon cart, and then when I had, a little bit of time off, I would, read, and I appreciate all those resources, I think. And then the map, that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
The tribes and everything.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, who would you recommend the Earth Tenders Academy to? What kind of a person do you think would be a good fit?
Well, so my daughter, that age group, so she's 21, and she's just kind of like learning a little, here and there, but I feel like some younger people, could really jump in and, do some cool stuff with this for sure. But anybody who loves nature, or anybody who's like, we're seeing this new earth coming, we're seeing how we need to get back to taking care of the earth. That's been just like so much has happened to take away, from our lives that, I think anybody who's got that kind of interest should definitely, I mean, there's so many different directions you could go, when you learn how to connect, and learn what we have been doing in the Earth Tenders Academy.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've come to realize as much that like nature is kind of a way in to this work for so many people. So different people are drawn to different things to kind of pull them onto their spiritual path. But like once you're on the path and you're in it, like there's so many kind of different things you can dive into and learn more about. So it kind of gives you a basis, a place to start.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and joining me here and all of your energy and participation in the course. I've so appreciated that. And if you're watching this and you're interested in the Earth Tenders Academy, there is a link below. You can click to learn more about it and join. So thanks again, Dani, and have a great rest of the day. Bye.